Hello everybody, had to redo the feed. We're having internet connection problems, but I wanted to talk about following your gut instinct and what it means to really just follow that breadcrumb trail of excitement and just following the whisper of spirit and following something to the point where you just want to explore more of it and change the configuration of it and change the physics of reality and understanding that everything can be made manifest and everything is rigged in your favor and everything is designed by the very fact that you're here to really live, to laugh, to love, to dream, and to follow your gut instinct, which is the seeking impulse, which is believing in yourself, which is empowering yourself, which is just following your alignment to the point where your alignment does not get swayed by distortions, get swayed by triggers, get swayed by emotions, get swayed by other people, and to realize that your destiny is your destiny. And when you align your destiny with your calling, and you're driven by your calling, and you're driven cause driven by knowing that you're generating different causes and different effects, and just stepping out in faith and stretching yourself outside of your comfort zone. And when you allow yourself to do that, you allow yourself to see that you're able to expand upon your expression. You're able to expand upon who you are right here. And you allow to change every type of moment to moment circumstance based perception of how every illusion is being made manifest. So you understand that you can change your circumstances. You can reverse reflections that you're experiencing. You can mirror back that reflection that you're experiencing with yourself, and understanding that they're all intertwined and that you can tap into all the parallel resonances inside of one resonance. So you're able to allow yourself to be that source code, and you allow yourself to experience the same thing every day, but it's not the same thing as you experienced it yesterday. It's not the same experience. It's not Groundhog Day. It's not experiencing the same illusion that you've been experiencing. It's stepping out of the nightmare and immersing yourself within the daydream. So when you understand that you're stepping out of the nightmare, stepping out of the realm of distortion, the realm of negativity, the realm where you are limited with only what you perceive, only with what you see, only with what you are experiencing here and now and forevermore. So now when you are able to follow your gut instinct by understanding that your alignment is based on your faith, is based on how you're going to step out into faith, and also just for the very fact that you show up to your life as if you're meant to be there. And when you allow yourself to show up to your life as if you're meant to be there, it means that you are interconnected with that divinity, that you follow your gut instinct. When something doesn't feel right, when something doesn't feel vibrationally in alignment, or you don't feel that connection within that manifestation, that means that you have a choice and that you have options, and also that you're able to accept opportunities courageously when they do happen and things are in flow, and that you are interconnected with that proposition of free will. But you have to use your discernment and see that maybe that is not for you. Maybe that isn't what you want to do with your life. Maybe that isn't what your representation here. Maybe that is not your Mona Lisa. So when you understand that maybe that's not your Mona Lisa, maybe that's not the source of all creation, maybe that's not how you intertwine all the parallel selves within your own divinity. So realities, manifestation, appearances, manifesting prosperity, that you have to truthfully believe that you can have all the money in the world. You have to really believe that you can be physically in shape. You have to believe in yourself to the point where it seems redundant, ridiculous, and irrelevant. But it's the most relevant way to be in that moment. So you're choosing your relevancy, which is changing you into being longevity itself. You're allowing yourself to quantum jump out of different realms, out of different realities, out of different parallel selves, and also just out of different aspects of your own personality. You allow yourself to be the shapeshifter of creation. Being that a shamanic soul is a shapeshifter, that means that you can take the shape of that wolf, you can take the shape of that human that is empowered, you can take the shape of that kundalini energy, you can take the shape of that tree. So that means that you are many different things all at once. You are like your spirit animal. You are the empowered self that's accepting the higher self. You're a lot like your guides. You are a lot like the angelic realms because you are a realm in and of itself. You are a universe in and of itself. So you have to understand that by you being a universe inside of your own self, inside of your own resonance, inside of your own charge, you allow yourself to generate the electricity within your life. That means that when there wasn't a pulse, when there wasn't something being breathed into life, that wasn't being birthed into existence, that wasn't flinging stars into space, that wasn't speaking worlds into existence, now that is happening, and it's becoming a prophetic nature of your own creation. So following your gut instinct is really following the breadcrumb trail of excitement. And then when you follow that breadcrumb trail of excitement, it means that you don't have to follow your excitement to the point where you don't have to search for the excitement. You don't have to search for what excites you about that specific moment or that specific manifestation. You already know what excites you within that moment. You already know what makes you feel exuberant of source energy within that moment. You understand that you're generating it more with charge and more with emulation, with more of an example and an expression, and you're allowing yourself to be the scientist of free will because you're allowing yourself to experiment with your enlightenment because you're following your gut instinct. So following your gut instinct is simple as changing your routine, changing your diet, changing the way that you exercise, changing the way that you live your life in a moment, in an instant, changing the landscape of your environment, encapsulating your energy and changing and shifting into the highest vibration that is more present, that is more understood, that is more truthful within your resonance. So you allow yourself to see that it's not this or that. It is not what I am right here, but it is what I am all the time. It is what I am within my simultaneous supernaturally organic self. So you allow yourself to see that you are an omnipresent being that is in different portals, that is in different places, that is in different experiences all at once, that is experiencing itself simultaneously, past, future, and present. So when you allow yourself to see yourself in that way, you see yourself as a map of creation, a map of deliberate creation, a map of different ways that you can go about this, north, east, south, and west. So you allow yourself to see yourself by that there is no right or wrong way. There is no one direction. There are multiple different multiplicities that are going at play here. So you have to understand that change and migration and unity is based on our choices, is based on how we feel during the day, is based on how we want to go about this day and how we want the joy to miraculously come over us and to see that we can be the day itself. We can be the beginning of the day, but we can be how the day flows and how the night comes about. And then the dawning of the grand risings comes into fruition. And then it changes and it allows you to see that where you are at is not where you are going. Purifying where you're coming from instead of where you're going will allow you to be very relevant within your own journey. It'll allow you to shape-shift into unity. It'll allow you to shift the platonic shapes all around you. The ground that you're walking on, it'll allow you to have the doors of heaven laid at your feet because you realize that you have to treat yourself as if you are a temple of God, that you're that source of God that receives everything all at once, everything everywhere all at once. By following your gut instinct is really seeing what you're capable of, what you're willing to handle, what you're willing to breathe within your life. What do you really want? What are you seeking for? And is that desire so purified that it doesn't seem like it is selfish? It doesn't seem like it is condemning. It doesn't seem like it's judgmental because desire is none of those things. Desire is the passion, the flame that ignites the spontaneous combustion of energy, and it allows you to tap into these little mustard seeds of the particle accelerator, which allows you to tap into quantum moments. And then those quantum moments shift into prophetic visions, and then those prophetic visions turn into the prophecy itself. And then when you realize that you're the prophecy itself, you are the I am presence that is actualized and realized and understood in every single moment that is understood and played out and appearing as you are awakening from that set illusion. So illusions are illusions. So pick the illusion that fits within your vibration to the point where you know that it is something that's more in vibrational alignment with who you are. It's more in vibrational alignment with what you are. But it's not about what you are. It's about who you are. It's what you live by. It's what you dedicate yourself towards. It's what keeps you awake at night with excitement, but allows you to sleep with peace. But it allows you to wake up in the morning and knowing that it is the dawning of a new day. It is a new day that is being manifested, being played out, allowing itself to appear, and it's another way that I can use it as generating another form of spiritual technology. It allows you to see that everything is a lesson, everything is a reflection, everything is source energy just trying to let you know that it's time to wake up even more. But every day that you're just waking up more and more and more, you're waking up more and more to yourself. You're tapping back more and more into who you are. You're reciprocating what you are. You're reciprocating what you're tapping into. And every day is a new learning curve as you're flowing through life. It is just another curve around the block, but it's not the same block that you're on. It's not the same street. It's not the same car. It's not the same people, places, or things. And realizing that states of beings, states of resonance, truth, whatever that is only truthfully temporary. It is only right now. But you have to maintain that presence within the present moment. That awareness within the present moment. Because the present moment is just getting you to realize that everything can be changed in an instant with the single choice, with a single look, with a single deep breath, with a single option, with a single manifestation. Something can change your life in the course of 24 hours to where it is like a domino effect. It's a chain reaction, but it's not a chain reaction in a negative sense, if you will. So it's not a chain reaction in a negative sense, but it sets off this chain of reaction where things just start falling into place. And when that ripple effect and that domino effect, and when it just generates this wave of cosmic abundance, it just allows you to see like, okay, I have options. There are different ways of creating from this standpoint, and there's this perspective, and there's this limiting belief, and there's this way that I can subtract it, but also there's another way that I can add into my life. And that's beautiful. So it's like there's so many different ways that you can create and meditate without you really even knowing that you're doing it. Because half of the knowledge that I channel, I don't even know myself, and I'm learning as I'm channeling it. And half of my messages are for myself. And every light worker that is living on this planet, we're all really talking to ourselves. We're always talking to ourselves. If nobody thinks that they're talking to themselves, they're crazy, they're insane. But insanity, if you break down the word, is understanding that we have been insane for so long. Now we're like the drunk person at the party instead of the sober person that's at the party. A lot of people make this analogy, and I don't resonate with it because If you're not awakened, you're the sober person at the party. But when you are awakened, you're drunk off God's source energy. You're drunk off of the Holy Spirit. You're drunk off of that Holy Spirited flow. And you're so drunk off of your guides, in a sense. And I know I'm saying that, overly emphasizing that, but it feels like that. And I said the Holy Spirit because it's going to trigger a lot of people, even though I'm not a Christian. Not anymore. But I'm not a traditional Christian. I'm not a Christian who says that they're a prophet. But I do believe that we are prophetic in our nature, and I do believe we're living a prophecy. But it doesn't matter what we are doing. But it's the fact that we're doing it for a greater cause, for a greater reason, for greater leadership, and to really see that we're here to extend a hand to our brothers and sisters, that this is the way that I came about this understanding. This is the way that I understood this. This is the way that I came alive within my own self. It's coming alive and it's staying alive. And knowing that we have a reason to be here and that we have a purpose to fulfill, that we have a job, that we have an assignment. And it doesn't matter if you're a pastor, it doesn't matter if you're a scientist, it doesn't matter about any of those things, because they're all relevant and they're all needed and they're all placed within this puzzle piece of consciousness. And everybody's having the healing journey and the realization, acting on stuff and stepping out into faith. It's just now you're a light worker and you're learning about law of attraction, law of subtraction, adding things within your life, generating different causes, which is generating different effects, allowing your higher self to enter your being so you're not just solely based within the physical mind. Because it always limits you when you're only going by the physical mind, because you're only going by what is physical, what is real, and you're just a realist, and you're just complacent, and you're just stagnant, and you're just unconscious. And then you put the unconscious back into your subconscious, and then you pull it back out, and you now have this awakened, enlightened perspective at the forefront of your consciousness. So now you have it at the forefront. You're actually calling it to the front, to here, to now, to understanding. And it's not always about being right, being wrong. It's not about any of those things. It's not picking a side, but it's setting those boundaries so that we can be our own source of creation, not having to draw from other people, not having to slime people over the phone when you're trying to relay a message to other people. And realizing that everybody is their free entity, and that we can't force people to be conscious. They have to be conscious themselves. They have to awaken to the understanding themselves, because then it would not be free will. So it's realizing that the fact that you receive, the fact that you're receptive, the fact that you're willing to heal and willing to sacrifice every single thing for the meditative path. You have to sacrifice your hypocrisy. You have to sacrifice your opinions, your beliefs, your emotions, your sense perceptions, the reason why you believe into illusions. You have to sacrifice everything, and it's going to cost you everything that's inside of your body that is a toxin, that is costing you, that is taxing you, that's limiting you of realizing your true potential, of realizing who you are. And it feels as if you're like Rocky and you're jogging, you're hitting the punching bag, you're making sure you're getting all of that, those nutrients and the protein. And sometimes it feels like a kick in the ass. Sometimes it feels like a slap across the back of the head, because God doesn't fret. God doesn't fuck around. God favors the bold. And if we're willing to be bold enough to see that there's nothing wrong with taking a chance on something, there is nothing wrong with being who you are in the present moment. There's nothing wrong with going against the fucking grain and saying, fuck the job, fuck the family, fuck that girlfriend or boyfriend that doesn't really need to be there anymore. It doesn't matter. It's just all appearances and reflections. All of that shit doesn't matter. But what matters is that the fact that you're awakening to this understanding, that fact that you're wakening up to this sense that I have a reason to be here, I have choices, I have options, I don't have to really make excuses anymore, that I am infinitely blessed, infinitesimally blessed. Everything is rigged in my favor. And realizing by following your gut instinct and that seeking impulse that drives you, which allows you to question yourself and check yourself before you wreck yourself. And it just allows you to follow that gut instinct. If something doesn't feel right, or if you don't feel that connection within that experience or that appearance, then you can completely ignore it and disregard it and change it out and add something in. And if that doesn't work, then go to the next thing. You can try something 70 different times, and it doesn't mean that you're always going to have the same result. It doesn't always mean that it's going to be the same thing that you're experiencing all the time. It just means that you're going at it from a different perspective. You're going at it from a different state of being, a different aspect of yourself, a different quantum realm within your own existence. And it's just allowing you to see that, wow, it's like going through a video game. Like I had this game that I played, Red Dead Redemption 2, and there was like 5 different endings. So every time that you play the game, it wasn't the same game. It wasn't the same experience. It wasn't the same missions that you had, even though there was a plot that kind of was always general, and that was always the thing that happened. It was always the thing that progressed during the game. But as you went through it, you realized that I missed on this side task. Oh, I did not do this side mission. I didn't meet that person at the bus stop that I was supposed to meet or bump into. And you see that every type of pixel, every type of moment, every type of existence that you're experiencing within that is like a video game, to the point where you're on harder difficulty. You're going at it from a different angle. And you're also trying to get that 100% completion within yourself. But even when you get to the 100% mark, it doesn't even feel as if you've gotten started. It's like when you completed a game, and I heard this comedian talk about this. He said that he completed 100%, and it was like, oh, so I only had 12% of the game done. So you have to look at yourself like that. But then it turns into 110%, 120%, 130%, 1,000%, a million. And you can keep going to the point where you realize that there is no ceiling to the mantle of becoming God. There is no ceiling. There is no stopping point. There is no mantle. The mantle just keeps growing. Like the pyramid analogy, or like Metatron's cube, which is more aligned to the shapeshifters, is more aligned to the people that are able to change their life in an instant, and they're able to make one decision, one phone call, donate to that person to pay off their house. And it doesn't mean that that person is more worthy. It just means that that person, that we're supposed to learn from that person. We're supposed to learn from that person and their prosperity. They have something within themselves that make them so prosperous, that make them so exuberant of source energy, to the point where everything that they breathe, they know that they're going to have everything that they want. That when there's people born into this world that know what they want, they feel good all the time, most of the time. I'm not saying that you're not going to have your days, because you are. But they feel good, they feel driven, they feel confident, they feel empowered, they feel equipped to live that life. And they don't focus on what the outcome is. They don't focus on the worry that takes the manifestation to come to fruition. It doesn't matter how the journey goes. It doesn't matter how many times that you fall in and out of alignment with the journey. The journey is still going to be there. The journey is still going to happen. You're still going to make an impact on people, either way. And it's not always about making an impact on the entire planet. You know, not everybody's going to do retreats and do these live feeds that I do, or anybody does. I mean, there's a lot of light workers that are very gifted. It doesn't fucking mean shit. But what it really means is that everybody has an impact. If you're a good mom, God bless you. We need good moms. We need entrepreneurs. We need scientists. We need Christians that will talk bad about light workers on the internet. We need them. Everybody's needed. So when we think that people are not needed, it just means that we're not really attuned to who we are. And we can always learn from others. We can always learn from other people. And we don't need to fight all of the evil in the world. The evil in the world will be cleansed and washed away. It will be rid from this earth. That's already happening. But it's just us not giving our power away to the evil that is present within us. That's the trick. We think it's always something outside of ourselves. We always think it's something over here, something over there, but no, it's something right here. Every time we point the finger, we always have one pointed back at us, all the time. All the time. It happens all the time. I've done so many live feeds where I said, had the most empowered message, and then guess what? The dog throws up on the carpet. How is White Wolf going to react to that? It's a test. But it's not a test of it's not judgmental, it's not condemning, it's just a test. We're going to get tested all the time as light workers. It's just the way that it is. And I wasn't expecting this message to kind of be one of those messages to where it's just kind of blunt. But sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need those empowered messages. Sometimes we need sensitive messages. But it's realizing, what is the message for today, and what message do I need to carry within that day? And if I did that, and I did my job, and I even just got through the day, that's the toughest part. It's just getting through the day. It's just living as a human through the day. That's the toughest part. How are you going to be in traffic? How are you going to be when, your wife's water breaks? It's life. How are you going to be when Spirit told you to go get that lottery ticket from the gas station, and then you went back to your car and scratched it, and then you checked it, and you spent $20 on it and you didn't win any money back? Oh, are you going to get triggered? Are you going to get upset? Is that going to fucking just obliterate your ego? Or if you see someone else doing very, very good, you see that one person that's just doing really good. They're always doing really good. Are you going to be jealous of them? Are you going to be jealous? It's an honest question. Because throughout the day, it's not about the evil that's outside or on the news, on TV. It's about the shadow that hasn't been integrated yet within ourselves. That's what it is. It's about the ego, that little imposter self that tries to come in sometimes, that tries to snatch away all the life, tries to outweigh who's doing better with this, who's agreeing more to that or disagreeing or this or that. It's always trying to make itself seem like it's more higher and more love and light and more purified, more exemplified, when really it's just the devil in disguise. Satan wears many disguises. And I think it's just really getting to that point where you just don't give a fuck. The art of not caring, it's very beautiful. Just don't give a fuck anymore. Don't give a fuck about what people think. Don't give a fuck about how your life is going to go. Just completely let go. Know everything is rigged in your favor. Follow that gut instinct. It will never fail you. Take a chance in your life. Oh my Lord. I wasn't expecting that. See, even that. I wasn't expecting that. But I had the reflexes enough to catch it. That was cringe. I will admit that. That was very cringe. And if we can't poke fun of at ourselves, then what are we really doing as light workers, right? So it's like getting to the point where you just totally sever any ties, any cords, anything that is limiting you. When you stop putting a limitation on yourself, on people, places, and things, on your partner, on your health, everything, just take the limits off of God. Take the limits off of God. God does not need to be limited, and neither do you. We don't have to be impoverished. We don't have to be low. We don't have to be unworthy. We don't have to be any of these things that we assume on a day-to-day basis. We don't have to assume anything anymore. It's just getting out of that realm or that illusion of assumption. When you get to the point where you just stop completely assuming what you are. You stop even assuming that you are everything. So confirm everything that you are and stop confirming what you are not. This false identification, this false sense of security, this false sense of safety, of worry, of pointing the finger, of making excuses, and all of these other things that all light workers do. And if they don't say it, they're full of shit, because I've met many gifted light workers, and some of them ended up being like really just full of shit, and they've been on the path for 20 years, and they think, being vegan allows them to be enlightened, and they think that just because they're an older individual that makes them enlightened too, or that they've tapped to this one truth and they've had a master and they only reached this one ceiling and they never actually saw something for themselves and they never took a risk in life and they just played it safe and they just stayed within their own little spiritual bubble. They just stayed there and they're content with it and they're okay with it. They're just okay with the mediocre, with this and with that, and that's okay, that's fine. But, I'm kind of to the point, I don't want that in my life. I don't want to breathe negativity in my life. I don't want to invite things in my life that I don't want. And we got to realize that as light workers, we should not invite things into people's lives that is bad for them. We need to show our brothers and sisters respect. We got to show our brothers and sisters respect. If we don't do that, then that's not doing anything for anybody. And I think it's a disservice to everybody who's a light worker. Some people, they'll watch my video right now and they'll see me smoking a cigar, having a hat on, and they'll think I'm just some person who's talking down to people. But sometimes we need that kick in the pants. Sometimes we need to just call out all of the hypocrisy and expose that stuff. But it's not like exposing someone. It's just exposing all the stuff that's just so skewered within humanity. And just bringing it out into the forefront and not being afraid to exploit that. Your weaknesses become your strength, and your strengths become your weaknesses. And I truthfully think that a lot of us, we're just doing the best that we can with what's present. And at the end of the day, do that. You don't have to be some worldwide person. Be a good mom. Be a good student. Be a good dad. Be a good entrepreneur. Be a great scientist. Be a good actor. Who am I to say that my truth is the only truth? And I've tried to express that in all of my lives. It's not just my truth. It's not about just what I say. It's just taking what resonates and what doesn't, implementing what resonates and what doesn't, and then just moving on with your life. You can still be spiritual and eat cheeseburgers. You can still be spiritual and smoke cigars. You can still be spiritual and wear hats. And you can still be spiritual and not be physical. You can be non-physical. Just know that you're accepted. This is maybe the first time you ever felt like in your life that you were accepted about anything. About anything. About how you look, how you feel, how you express yourself. The fact that you're finally opening up. Because I know in the very beginning, I had to get a lot of stuff off my chest. There's a lot of you that need to get stuff off your chest. You need to get on a live and just blast them with beauty. Blast them with all that. You know? It's not about being perfect. And it's not about just saying what people want to hear. I think that's a big disservice in spirituality. And I think a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it. They just want to say what people want to hear, and that's it. And that's a big, big disservice, because let people know what they need to know and what they need to hear, because you're knowing where they're coming from. You're understanding them. You're seeing from their density of consciousness, and then where to go from there and progress on that and emulate that and then move the fuck on. So, that was my message. So I will not be doing a meditation tonight, but I just wanted to get on here, and maybe that you received from that, maybe empowered you. And just be yourselves. Don't try to be someone else. Just be who you are. And at the end of the day, that's all you can do. That is all you can do, is just be yourself. This is White Wolf. Thank you. God bless. And namaste.